taking time to come down and visit the Rrampt space and make time on in your day to talk a little bit about the election and municipal issues, and to hear more about who I am and why I'm running. For those of you who I'm meeting for the first time today, hi, my name's Jon. That's why the signs all around say Jon. I was born and raised in Owen Sound. My dad's family in the area goes back 6 or 7 generations, depending on which cousin you ask. And I really love this place. I chose to move back here in my mid-20s, and now I'm working and playing and raising a family in Owen Sound. And when I care about something, I can't help but work to support it. And there are a lot of challenges that Owen Sound is facing right now. For all the things that make this the community that I love, and for all the things that make life really good here, for me, I know that not everyone is as lucky in this place. And these complex issues range from our financial limitations as a small municipality and with an incredible infrastructure deficit. There are larger issues like homelessness and the rising cost of everything, especially housing, things like climate change. And I think that there are ways for us to meet these complex challenges. And one of the reasons I'm running now is because over the last 4 years, I've seen council consider issues that relate to a number of these things that I'm passionate about and respond in ways that I think failed to open up the conversation or to respond in ways that I believed in. And so, as an opinionated person, I wrote letters to the editor and I emailed counselors, and I figured I could keep doing that, or I could throw my hat in and try to be a voice at the table for the folks who believe that while a single municipality can't solve every issue, that our municipal government has to come on in. We just come on in. That's good. Yeah. A single municipality can't address the largest issues that we face, but we have to be partners in finding solutions and figuring out what's going to work for us here. There are so many tools and so many examples across North America, even that have been developed at the level of Grey County, that can help us to respond to pressing issues in Owen Sound. But it's up to us to do something with those tools. In the same way that someone can give you a great recipe, but you've got to make your own lunch based on what you have in your cupboard. And I think that there are ways that we can better find solutions and better have conversations about all of these issues. I'm a real believer in something called the triple bottom line that says we have to measure the benefit and cost of an idea, not just on how much it costs in dollars and cents, but also the costs and benefits socially and environmentally. I think that there's an approach called multi-solving that is really effective, that we could put to better use, that says that there are often common roots to a number of our problems. So if we can find single solutions that address multiple issues or that benefit the community in multiple ways, then that's just better for everyone. And I'd like to see a lot more kind of community conversation and engagement. A couple of councils ago now, the number of city committees shrunk drastically. And we've heard repeatedly that it's hard to get people onto city committees. And I don't think that's because people don't care about Owen Sound. Everywhere I look around, there are people who are volunteering, people who are dedicating time to conversations and to voice their concerns and their dreams for the community that we share. But we don't always, at the municipal level and at City Hall, see those people consulted, see those people engaged in the conversation, and we don't, at least in the time that I've been back, I haven't seen the kind of engaged community dialogue and the openness from City Hall to that leads us to find the best possible solutions. I think the best possible solutions are going to benefit the best or the greatest number of people, and that we need to consider, again, not just dollars and cents, but also the impact on our community for every decision that comes before council. There's so much potential and also so much challenge. And I think that the way that we actualize that potential and the way that we meet those challenges is together. City Hall is a small part of our community, and yet it has very important tools that shape so much of our lives. And City Hall is responsible for everything from when your garbage goes out, to how much your taxes are, to what kind of responses are there, if there's an emergency for you, to what you can build and where folks can live. And I think that as much as we've heard folks on city council recently say there are things here that are too big to be our problem and that we just can't deal with, that we've at least got to be, as a city council, we've got to have folks there who say, we need to address this. How are we going to make it work? Maybe we don't need City Hall to be the people driving or managing every solution, but City Hall should at least be gathering the people around the table to say, who's got what? One of my favorite stories when I was a kid was the one about stone soup, if you folks know that. The version that I knew had Mickey Mouse in it, so all these people are in town and they're hungry and they don't know what to do. And Mickey Mouse shows up and he says, we'll make stone soup together. And they say, what's that? He says, we'll just boil some water. I've got this stone, we'll make stone soup. They boil the water, he throws it in, and it doesn't taste very good, consisting of only water and a rock. And he says, we could really use some carrots. And so he says, Jim, you've got carrots, bring some carrots from home. And then he tastes that, and they realize that, well, with your onions and your potatoes and from the one thing from your garden, by adding a little bit, the one thing maybe that each of us can contribute, together we can make something that is nourishing for our community. And I think that philosophy to solving problems and finding solutions is the kind of approach that we need at City Hall. We only have the space for a couple hours tonight, so thanks so much for coming. I've got space here for you to share your ideas if there are things percolating for you, either on the side of what I'm concerned about for Owen Sound or what my dreams are for it, because often our political conversations are only negative. It's about this thing that I'm angry about or that we have to fix, but I think that there's also room to say, what do I want? Like, what's the positive vision that I have? Because if the conversations that we have aren't driven by how we want this community to be, not just next year when I get my tax bill, not just at the end of 4 years when this council is up for re-election. If we're not also thinking about what are our communities going to be like in 100 years, because the zoning and the development that we're doing now is going to be here in 100 years. So many of the houses that people live in Owen Sound are that old. If we're not thinking about how the decisions we make can benefit both today and tomorrow, as well as 2 or 3 generations away, then I don't think that we're doing the best that we can. And if there's more to talk about than we have time for today, there are cards around as well that have my website on them. One of the first things I did was put up a website because I believe really strongly in transparency and communication, so I wanted folks to know who I am and why I'm running and have a place to look at that in depth. We can have a bit of a group conversation if folks are feeling that, or I'm happy to kind of mingle around and talk to folks individually. I'd love to have this filled up by the end, so if I can draw on your ideas, I'd be grateful for that. And just thanks again for coming. I really appreciate Wanda and Nelson for opening this space up, and all of you for taking time to consider this, because signs aren't up yet, so not everyone knows that there's an election in Owen Sound. But that's coming, and elections are important because public engagement and democracy are important. And yeah, I'm John. Thanks for coming.
Yay.